Welcome to Discovering. Tonight, we'll take a look at some UP entrepreneurs and how Invent at NMU helped turn their ideas into products.
Invent at NMU is a program of Northern Michigan University, and we help people with business and product ideas.
And a look at some of the UP's more unique lodging at the Big Bay Point Lighthouse Inn.
Sit back and relax. It's Monday night and time for Discovering.
The secret streams that flow beneath the cliffs of colored stone. Forest thick and healthy with birch and pine and oak. Surrounded by the greatest lakes this world has ever known. The black bear's awesome presence as he roams the hills and fields. Call of the timber wolf, the loon's lonesome trill, the eagle soaring high above, the trout lies deep and still. These are what I treasure, the only way I measure feelings that I have for this fine land. There is so much to discover when you're a long-time lover of northern Michigan.
In the UP, there's no shortage of inventive people with creative ideas for new products.
What I'm doing right now is I'm testing different materials. Even though they look alike, the liner in the chimney aspect withstands a temperature of 1,000 degrees to 1,200 degrees.
But there's a huge difference between a great idea and a product on a shelf. For help with that process, a great place to turn is Invent at NMU.
I came into Invent at NMU because I had about a half a dozen inventions, and I wanted to kind of filter through all these inventions and find one that I could make that would support all the other inventions. So basically I was looking for a cash cow.
Invent at NMU is a program of Northern Michigan University, and we help people with business and product ideas. So people like Earl can come into us and at any stage. So they can come in with an idea, they can come in with already a prototype of a product or a business idea or an existing business, and we'll help them with whatever stages they need. So help them with patent drawings, help them with marketing, help them design a website. Just basically come up with a plan and work with them step by step on what needs to happen next in order to launch.
Earl came into Invent at NMU with his fire tent. And the first thing that we figured out we needed for Earl was some patent drawings. So we had one of our art and design students from Northern Michigan University actually help Earl create the patent drawings and submit them to his patent attorney. After that, there's various things helping him out with marketing collateral, logo, handouts, things of that nature.
I needed to talk to these people about direction. Where do I go? Which one's the best one to start off with? And ultimately decided to go with the fire tent. The primary reason for having a fire tent is it eliminates all concern over a rained out camping trip. That's number one. Number two is I added a chimney aspect to it. And what that does, just by the fact that I have a fire, is going to create convection. But by adding that chimney aspect, that creates draw. And then you take the reflectivity of the infrared radiation from the fire, that heats the ground up a little bit and makes that air temperature slightly higher under the tent, which makes it more buoyant. So between that and the pull of the chimney aspect, it takes all of your body scent, your body heat, and the CO2 of your breath, all the things that attract insects, goes up the top of the chimney. So I built 4 scale model prototypes. This is the very first full-scale model. I'm going to switch to aluminum poles eventually. The center poles are going to be aluminum, but right now we're focused on just the tent aspect. The tent was designed to be set up by one person, and it takes about 10 minutes or so to set it up. What I do is, before the fire is started, I lay the whole tent out, so I have all the lines radiating outwards, and I put the 3 poles 100 degrees apart in the center of the tent, so they're crisscrossed. Then I put it through a grommet in the top, at the very top of the tent. It goes through a hole in the grommet, and there's a pin that goes through that. That's what allows me to lift the tent up by myself. So when I lift one pole, the other 2 poles come up with it. And so once I got that tripod stance, the rest is just a matter of putting the stakes around the outside and putting the poles up. It's very simple. The primary markets for this thing is people that just want to eliminate concern over a rained out camp trip. So campers is one market. Another one, a big one I think, is people with backyard fire pits. And the third market is people who are in the business of renting tents, party tents and stuff like that. Perfect for parties.
Invent at NMU is made up of a group of NMU students from a variety of backgrounds. So they're all going to school for graphic design, for business, entrepreneurship, industrial design, mechanical engineering techs as well. So they all work for us, and they are the ones who work on these projects. So they get hands-on experience while they're going to school, which is a really great thing for them to be able to put on their resume when they leave. And it also is, you know, they have a great relationship with the inventors and entrepreneurs, and they're guided by a group of mentors and professionals, including Jason and myself and some others as well. But they do most of the work. So I think that's a really unique thing about Invent at NMU, is that we're providing this hands-on experience for students, so before they even leave college, they have something to put on their resume. Another example of a client who came to us with an idea, and this was just a business and product idea that came to us in one of our business boot camps, was Lumi. They design outdoor apparels. They came to us in our business boot camp just with the idea of what they wanted to do. They saw a need in the market for some really nice, high quality outdoor clothing that also still was fashionable. So they came to us and we helped them through the business boot camp, and now they are launched. They have their products available online on their website and also in Downwind Sports.
We are the Lumi sisters, and we have been sewing on our own since we were in like 3rd or 4th grade. And Lumi is the name of our apparel company. It is the Finnish word for snow. It kind of fits the hardiness of Yoopers and the resilience that we have to live up in the Upper Michigan. There's no brand that really is the UP. So we just had that thought in our mind, had lots of meetings at coffee shops, and our ideas went wild, and idea after idea after idea, and we were getting nowhere. So we found out about a class called the Launchpad that was run through Invent at NMU, and that class helped us focus what we really wanted to do.
So our mission is to be a sustainable brand. So that what that means is we use sustainable materials like bamboo and organic cotton and tencel, modal made from the pulp of trees. Also just having really classic designs that can easily transition throughout the seasons and from year to year. They don't go out of style, they're not as trendy. They can also easily transition throughout the day, from being work appropriate to lounging on the couch, that they're very comfortable.
So you can wear them even when you're working out. I don't have time to switch outfits during the day. I get dressed once, so I like wearing something that I can be comfortable in all throughout my day. We get a lot of feedback from our customers that, you know, this skirt is so functional. I wear it once a week, and it makes their lives better. And so it just fuels me when I'm sewing that I made this skirt. It's going to make some woman's life easier.
Yes.
And we want to bring that to more people. So yes, it is our dream to have a factory and employ people and just to get the incredible satisfaction about making something that helps other people.
So we have no business background. We have careers on the side. I'm a radiation therapist and Mandy's a teacher. So Invent at NMU has helped us out with all those other aspects of the business that we didn't have any experience with and never developed a website, photography, and just how to price our items even.
If you have an idea, if you don't do anything about it, it'll just only be an idea until you get some direction. It's very, very hard to start a business on your own, but it is possible with the help of Invent at NMU and other local organizations to help you get a focus and to help you with all those other parts of your idea that aren't your passion.
One thing about inventors is they're afraid to show their invention to some people. So trust turns out to be the biggest word in an inventor's dictionary. And that's why I went to Invent at NMU. I had a lot of inventions and I didn't mind. Once you go in there, you sign a non-disclosure agreement, and then both sides can just talk about anything you want to talk about, and you know it's all secret. So I trust Invent at NMU. When I went into Invent at NMU, Jason set me up with a young engineer. And there's just no way that I could have afforded to go into a place and say, can you do, 40, 50 hours of engineering on this tent? Because it's just out of my league. But the cost was so reasonable, and the students are going to benefit from it in their learning experience. And I saved a ton of money. So it's definitely, Invent at NMU is a way to go to get a lot of these things that are not so affordable.
My name is Nick Korstad. I'm the owner-operator of the Bay Point Lighthouse Bed and Breakfast here in Big Bay, Michigan. We're the only bed and breakfast left in the state now. But here at Big Bay Lighthouse, we've been in operation since 1896. We were built as a signal post to help guide mariners between Granite Island and Huron Island. We were kind of a dead area at night, and when mariners were transitioning towards Houghton, the Keweenaw, they would wreck into the shoals that are off our point. So ultimately, the Lighthouse Board authorized the improvement here, and the lighthouse had keepers till 1943, at which they decided that with the canal that they had built through the Keweenaw, that this lighthouse was no longer necessary. So they automated it, removed all the keepers, and then rented it out for summer cottages until after World War II. And this property was then sold into private ownership in '62 to help stabilize the economy after the war efforts. So here I am today, and I live in this nice, beautiful lighthouse here on Lake Superior. Welcome to the exterior of Big Bay Lighthouse. Right next to us, we have our original oil house. Great thing about these lighthouses, is they engineered outside storage for all the kerosene, well oil, lard oil, whatever they used back in the day. Reason for being outside was lighthouses were typically getting burned down by lighthouse keepers who were walking with a lantern and the oil, drop it down, and boom, there goes the lighthouse. So this was devised, this is newer technology for lighthouses. So most lighthouses, if you ever go to them here in the Upper Peninsula, you will see the oil house. And if you look, we got the lighthouse behind us, and follow me, we'll go inside and I'll give you guys the tour. So we're gonna enter in to the assistant keeper side of the house. This lighthouse originally was built as a duplex, but feel free, come on in. All right, so welcome into the living room. Originally, again, this lighthouse was a duplex, so this room would have been divided into two separate rooms. There would have been a wall right down the middle. This would have been a dining room one side, parlor on the other side, and then the dining room itself would have been the kitchen. And 1962, when this lighthouse was sold into private ownership, the owner decided he wanted to open up the duplex, make it one large little castle out here on the lake, and that's how we have our current configuration. So if you follow me, we'll go upstairs. I'll show you what our guest rooms look like, and then of course we'll get to the top of the lighthouse. That's where everyone wants to go. So we're a traditional bed and breakfast, so we have 7 guest rooms, all with their own bathrooms. Each morning I'll do a full breakfast that's basically baked goods, an egg scramble, a meat dish, and then I try and do something that's local. So I try and use local fruits for a nice fruit salad. And then afternoon we'll bake cookies or pastries for guests. And it's just kind of a nice alternative to staying in a Comfort Inn or something like that. So you get the amenities of a hotel. We have a sauna here. You have your own bathroom, but you get to stay at a lighthouse. Our most rented guest room up here, this is our Keeper Dufresne. This would have been 2 rooms originally, but again in '62 it was opened up into this one grand large master bedroom. And if you're a lover of sunsets, this room has a great view. You can see our old fog signal building out the window, as well as our little oil house. And we had a foghorn again until about 1943. And it was steam powered, then air powered, and that helped keep the ships from wrecking on the shoals that were about a mile offshore. It's a great old building. It'll be restored in the future, and hopefully we'll have it open for maybe overnight stays or maybe a small little maritime museum. So we're kind of toying with the possibilities. But in the meantime, it's a great old building. It's in great shape, but this room has a great view. But we'll head out the hallway. So on this side of the house, we have the 3 original rooms. This probably would have been one of the children's rooms. Again, this closet right here has been converted into a bathroom with a shower. And you know, they're not super big, but they're not super small. And thankfully, most of our rooms, aside from 2, have full lake views. So, but we'll go around the corner, and we have another bedroom, which is our assistant temple room. And all these rooms, they're named after original lighthouse keepers or assistants. And this room also has a lake view, and it's one of our only rooms that has an additional bed. But we'll head downstairs. I'll show you a couple keeper rooms that we have down there. And we'll go down this side of the duplex. This room right here, our Keeper Bergen suite, would have been, it's at the base of the light tower, but this would have been the head lighthouse keeper's office. And we had 2 front entryways. This one has been converted into a private bath that has a jutted tub. And this again would have been the head lighthouse keeper's little office. We saw a couple structure plans that showed that there may have been a stairway here up to the top. And that would have allowed for the lighthouse keeper to take oil and stuff through the house without taking it onto the interior stairs, because all the walls in this tower are like 2.5 feet thick. So, you know, if they had any fires in here, they could seal the doors and put it out. But again, when the lighthouse was automated in the 1940s, it was rented out as summer cottage. So the Coast Guard may have, at that time, removed the stairway up to the 2nd level, locked the ones upstairs so people couldn't get up there and access their lens, and they could still have them rented for income. So, but this is the most quiet room in the whole place. The walls are so thick you couldn't hear if someone was, you know, yelling and screaming at you in the hallway. But it gives you a full Lake Superior sunrise and sunset, and you open these windows up and it sounds like you're sitting on the ocean. Our Keeper McDonald suite, which occupies the whole east side of the lower level, is a great room. This is one of my favorite rooms because I'm trying to get couches into every room, but it has a fireplace, but it has 4 windows. So you can kind of really keep an idea of, you know, what's going on the lake. You can watch the birds out front. And you can watch the people walk down the driveway for lighthouse tours. This one and my Keeper Dufresne are the ones that people love during the winter with these large fireplaces. You can sit in here, and after about 5 minutes, you have to shut off. It gets a little too warm, but it's fun, it's exciting, and I don't know, every room offers a different touch. So my fascination with lighthouses is kind of a child-born thing. I don't know where it came from. I was possibly a lighthouse keeper in a past life. But I think it's just something with the architecture. And as the world becomes busier and things change, you know, on a daily basis, it's a place where you can go that never changes. Don't mind this room. This is going to be the future home of our 3rd order Fresnel lens. We own our original lens. We're going to put it right here in the middle of the room. It'll go floor to ceiling, and it was the original lens that was built here in 1896. And so we just got this room cleaned up, and we're working with a lampist and the Maritime Museum in Marquette to relocate our lens back here and allow all our guests and visitors to see it. And we always encourage them to go to the museum because they have great artifacts there as well. But we'll head upstairs. I'll show you all the way up to the top. So this level is our watch room. So this is where the base of our Fresnel lens used to stand. Again, we had a 3rd order Fresnel lens. There was 2 sizes larger than that. Lighthouse Offshore Standards Rock had a 2nd order lens, which is one of the largest used in the Great Lakes region. But our clockwork mechanism had a weight that would rotate, and we'd have a fixed light. So we'd have a visible light at all times, and then every 20 seconds, we had a flash panel that would go around, give a 20-second flash. And that's how the mariner knew that they're at Big Bay Point. And the weight would go through the floor all the way down to the basement. So it's really cool to be able to see that, and you can see the outline of where the base of the lens sat. And you know, unfortunately it was taken out, but the Coast Guard still keeps our light going, and it has been updated to today's modern technology of LED lighting. So it's a very cool blue color, but let's head on up. I'll show you the view from our lantern room, and you'll be able to see the current light that's up here. All right, welcome to the top. This is where our original lens was at. Currently, the Coast Guard has this light here, a nice LED optic, which gives a flash every 6 seconds. And unfortunately, it's not the same as original. And this one right here on the pedestal, this is just for decoration, and it's not used for any ship traffic, but people like to have a picture with the lens, but being hanging from the ceiling, no one could get that shot. So you can see on a clear night, we can see Granite Island, the light from there, and just the tip of the Huron Islands. And so, yeah. But when you look at the view from here, one thing you'll notice, you won't see any homes. It's just, again, it's how it was back in 1896, and I'm glad to be able to share that experience with people. We're one of the few lighthouses within the United States where you can come and look out the top and society hasn't encroached upon our property. It looks pretty much like it did in 1896 when we were built. You can actually get the feel that we're remote. We've got a light on at night. The stars are amazing here at night. So people are coming out here and they see, the beam going out the top and seeing, okay, this is a dark location and this is what the mariners need. There's 3 of this structure plan, 14-mile point, which you'd have to walk like 6 miles down a beach and then you can get to it. And it burned. It's just the brick shell and the tower. And then 40-mile downstate. But the schoolhouse ones like Eagle Harbor is only here, so you'll not see them anywhere else in the world. And they were a schoolhouse style where the tower and everything was integral so that the keeper, could get out and, do his chores while it's super freezing and have to go out and walk to a tower. But cool thing is people have never understood that, lighthouse keepers were always removed from lighthouses during the winter here in the Great Lakes. Either they went and, on vacation or they were assigned to other locations. And it's usually December 15th to around March 15th, and whenever the locks would close. So there was never full-time keepers that lived here. Jeff and Linda were the only full-time people to ever live here starting in 1992. And that's why the place is pretty well preserved, because it's been heated ever since. I enjoy the guests, and I enjoy the people who appreciate lighthouses. See people's smiles and their faces when they get to go to the top. Everyone gets so giddy, they get to the top of that lighthouse.
Well, that's it for this week. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next week right here on Upper Michigan's very own Discovering.